What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the CRKT Pilar. This is a Jesper Voxnaes design. Currently it goes for about 55 bucks. It's a 2.4 inch blade made of Hcr13 Mov Steel with a frame lock. And this particular knife utilizes a thumb oval to open up. It's not really necessarily a fidgeting knife. You can flick it open. It really helps to use a little bit of wrist, use the middle finger as well. But the action isn't really something I'm going to be talking a lot about. See, look at that, it feels easy enough. This particular knife weighs 4.0 ounces, so it comes in right over that sweet spot of 2 ounces per usable inch of blade. Haha, just kidding. Comparable knives that I would say that I have for this one first one is the CRKT Burnley designed squid. So in terms of size as well as fit and pocket as well as price, it's pretty close. I think that one was like the squid was, I don't know, 35 bucks or so. That particular one's in green micarta. And then also the Spyderco man bug. In terms of obviously it's a lot smaller, the man bug, but in terms of cost, this one was like 59 bucks, and this particular copper version of the Pilar is like $55 at present, so similar in price. And also, it was these are the only knives that I really have that fit in that coin pocket in the jeans, which is actually one of the strengths of this particular knife. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of this one right now. The pros of this one is a Jesper Voxnaes design, and one of the great things about him is he's able to get a small knife but to fit a full hand using that front choil in this particular case. And so you really do get a great purchase on that thing, and it's not going to go anywhere. So that particular design function of it is really nice. And CRKT did a decent job, I think, of building that in. I don't know if there's a custom or anything of this particular one. It is a very non-threatening knife. I mean, if you pull this out in the lunchroom, nobody's going to go screaming. So yeah, very nice and easy going for that. It is solid in the hand, but it fits in the coin pocket, as I talked about in the jeans. And so that's really a good thing, and I definitely utilize this particular one a lot in that capacity. It just kind of helps you basically free up some pocket space by using that. And this particular Hcr13 Mov Steel, I know this. I shouldn't have to say this as a pro, but it didn't chip on me like so much CRKT of that steel does. So, and part of that might just be that this does not come down to a very thin behind the edge, and so it's a fairly robust or fat grind, I should say. Not a great grind, but robust in terms of this knife. Definitely, you can kind of beat up on the blade quite a bit, as I did. You can see scratches all over this one. This has gotten plenty of use in the garage. So in that sense, it didn't chip on me, and I was happy for that because I was able to actually sharpen this thing and actually re-profile it to 25-degree angle, so it won't chip, and it actually lasts a little bit longer, and it cuts perfectly okay. I break down boxes. It's not the greatest slicer, but actually we're getting right into the cons. This is not a great slicer. It's actually very thick blade stock, and the grind, which is a flat grind coming up to a saber, is it definitely gets caught on the shoulder of cardboard, things like that. But it cut for the most part. As far as maintenance goes, this one is built with Teflon washers, and also used thread locker from hell. So it was essentially a nightmare to try to get in and maintenance this up. It was very tight out of the box, and it just never loosened up. So I was determined to break in, and with a lot of hair dryer, I was able actually to heat these up to break that thread locker. But that was not a very good thing. It definitely has developed some up and down blade play. I'll shake this a little bit. You might be able to hear that. I don't think it'll necessarily show, but you can definitely feel it at this point in time that it has developed a little bit of up down blade play with a lot of use. So that's those are not the great. Those are the not so greats. And then the really bad thing that I literally had to modify this, or it was unusable, is this little spot on the frame. That little thing was so sharp, there was no chamfering or anything done, not even the slightest bit of knockdown, so that right when my middle finger went against that thing, it just absolutely cut into it. And so right at that spot right there, I just had to knock that down. So I spent about 20 minutes with a file or not a file, but just a ceramic rod, and that really helped. In fact, that was a life changer. But it was almost, to me, why that one was such a con is that I almost felt as if nobody had ever put this in their hand and really kind of squeezed to see if they were going to actually, press hard on this. And so for me, that was a really bad con, just having to do that. But I don't mind doing too much knife maintenance. It is a budget knife in the $50 range-ish there. So overall, I would definitely say this is not a fidgety knife, but you can do it single-handed. So in that sense, it's not terrible. It's not a light knife. It's very heavy at 4 ounces, though it is small. So it fits in your pocket. And it is a very secure knife in the hand, though it is not heavy use. So there's a lot of trade-offs here that really kind of leave me kind of ambivalent about this knife. It's not one that I love. I certainly actually prefer, just for a small use, the Burnley Squid a little bit better. I think honestly this is probably good for somebody who wants to train themselves up to a Spyderco without having to have a knife with a big huge hole in it, because it is very easily accessible, just to roll that out, and you can, like I said, with a little bit of elbow you can actually flick that. So from my perspective, it's an ambivalent knife. Okay, not filled with some goods, some bads. Hope you found this useful. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and have a great day. Take care now.